What's up, guys? It's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with the Mega Man Legacy Collection. We're going to be playing some Mega Man 2 today. This is one of my favorite games from when I was growing up, playing the NES. And first I wanted to give a shout out and a special thanks to one of my subscribers, Texan Joe. He actually watched my Friday video where I was talking about this game and very graciously donated a PSN code for me to be able to pick this up. So very much appreciated, guys. I don't expect donations for anything like that, but very nice thing to do. Really appreciate it. Special thanks to Texan Joe. He is the reason we are getting to see this amazing game. He does not currently have a channel. He does have a YouTube profile, but feel free to check out his page. I'll link it below. I believe he has one video up that he's posted. I think he was thinking about starting a YouTube channel, so go there and encourage him to do so. But anyways, thanks again, Texan Joe, for the PSN code to pick this game up on PlayStation 4. Really, really very much appreciated. Alright, so guys, we're going to play Mega Man 2 today. Normally I'd start with Mega Man, the first one, but this was probably my favorite Mega Man game that was ever made in the series. It's actually the first Mega Man I had experience with, and the first one I ever got to play and spend a lot of time with. Now, I remember specifically the weekend that I picked up this game and fell in love with the Mega Man series. I think I had done really good in the school. I had gotten like good report card or something, or did good on a test. But one of the things my parents used to do, like with positive reinforcement, is when I would do well in school, they would reward me by taking me to Blockbuster Video. Yeah, this is way back in the 80s or 90s or whenever. And they would let me rent a video game for the weekend. And this is back when Blockbuster and video stores used to rent like Nintendo games and then Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. And you used to be able to go and rent all kinds of video games. You could actually rent video game systems. And I remember one weekend, I would always just look for random games and see whatever had like a cool looking cartridge. And one weekend I just picked up Mega Man 2, kind of out of the blue, and had no clue what it was about. Started playing it. Fell in love with the gameplay and the music especially. This game just had a lot of great things, and it was actually pretty difficult too. It was a very hard game, not as hard as the first Mega Man. The first Mega Man is probably one of the harder NES games. But yeah, so we just kind of jumped into it and played it. Now, one of the cool things about doing that is I actually went through and played a lot of the Robot Masters in like the most improper order ever. So I actually don't play in the order you're supposed to. There's like, you're supposed to go in a certain order, pick up certain weapons first and last, and take on certain bosses first, but I actually, for some odd reason, started with just because I thought he looked the coolest, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through my own order here. We'll probably do a few episodes of this game. I'll play probably through 4 of these guys in one episode, then 4 in the next, then we'll do Dr. Wily's Castle. This is a pretty cool game, but I always used to start with Metal Man, so that's what we're going to do for this one. It may take me a minute to get used to the controls again. I'm a little rusty. I did play this for a little bit the other night. But we're gonna go through it again, so just give me a second to get used to the controls. We got jump, and we got our blaster as usual. So this was one of the first stages I ever played in Mega Man, and it may take me a bit to get used to this, but you got the conveyor belts here that you had to watch out for, and you have these giant smashing metal compactors or whatever they are. And the thing that really made this stage kind of difficult at the time is it had these conveyor belts, and you can see I already got whacked. Rookie mistake. but it's kind of neat though. I'm seeing this flickering in the screen. This is just like the game was on Nintendo, so I'm glad they kept that in there for authentic. God, I'm already at half health. For authenticity, but hopefully we won't get embarrassed and blow up here. I'm gonna try to farm some of these things to get some energy back. Maybe there we go. There's one little. That was one of the things though. The enemies like always constantly respawn on this game. It's a nice big juicy energy. There we go. But that was one thing you could always do for boss fights, is if you ran out of your weapon power, you could always come back out to an area where these guys were respawning and just sit here and farm them all day. But you had to be careful in this stage. There's just stuff comes out of everywhere, but it's one of the challenging aspects of Mega Man, is they had all these different obstacles they would throw at you, and the worst is when things would be like right by a jump, and you'd have to try to get over a jump, and something would hit you like mid-jump and cause you to die. But like I said, this was like the first stage, and I don't know why I played this stage first, but you can see up here, you actually can't jump up there if there's an extra life. You can get that later on when you come back and get some of the other power-ups. That was the cool thing about Mega Man I thought was really interesting when I first played the game, was the fact that you could kill the Robot Masters or destroy them. I guess kill isn't what we want to talk about it, since this was a game kids played, but you could destroy the Robot Masters. When you destroyed them, you actually got their power-up, and you got to use their weapon And that's also one of the reasons I play Metal Man first, because the metal blades are like the most overpowered weapon in the history of games. They're just amazing. You can shoot them in like every direction, and they're really powerful. We'll see here in a second, but yeah, remember this. Just bringing back memories. This was a great game. I played this game like all weekend when I got it, when my parents would let me play video games. So just a great part of my childhood. You see, this got this energy tank down here. I think you can get this, but you have to sacrifice a life. You have to fall down, but I'm just gonna take this jump and not worry about it. You got these little guys that are kind of in an unfair spot here. You notice when you're on the ground they move fast, but when you jump they don't. But that's pretty much it for Metal Man stage. It's the one thing about this game, you can play through it pretty quick once you got down the patterns, and Metal Man is actually pretty easy to take down. You got a pattern to his blades. It can kind of throw you off. At first you're like kind of stuck here against the wall, but then you can see here it's gonna switch up actually when he gets to half power, and then it's a little bit harder for me to remember the pattern here. You can see there, you stand on that side. It's pretty easy though, and down goes Metal Man. But I don't know, this game was just really fun to play. I think everything about it, the stage designs were interesting at the time, you know, for like a side-scrolling game. And you could backtrack, and just a different variety of enemies, and of course the weapons you get. You can do all kinds of interesting things. And what was funny was as I got through the game, and here's another thing too, you got a password if you want to pick up, you know, you can get your password after you beat every stage, and you would write this, you'd have to draw a little grid. It was really funny. You used to draw a little grid and color in the dots, and you would do that. And then come back. That way you could actually come back later to the game. So that was pretty neat too, because I hadn't experienced that at first. So after Metal Man, for some odd reason, I would usually go right to Flash Man. I'm not sure why I went in this order, but and I know this is not in the order of how you're supposed to do it, but it's how we're going to play. But one of the fun things too I found out while doing this was I was one of those kids who I would just play a game over and over and experiment with all kinds of different things. And here we've got the metal blades equipped so you guys can see how cool these things are. So you can throw them diagonal, and at the time that was pretty cool. I hadn't seen too many games that let you do that. It allows you to take out enemies above you, and that was just always a really awesome thing. You see how the enemies come back though, which can really screw you up if you're not paying attention. You'll notice here there's these little walls up on top. You can actually destroy those with a weapon you get from one of the bosses called Crash Man. I don't actually think I can't hurt this guy, that's right. The metal blades, But once you got crash bombs, you can actually blow those up and go after power-ups in all the stages. And that was one of the cool things too, is all the stages are a little different, and they kind of like, see if I had crash bombs, I'd be able to blow that open and grab that energy. But you actually could play each stage a lot of different ways, depending on what weapons you actually had in your possession. And did I go the right one? Okay, I guess I went the right way here. Some of these initial stages were not that tough, and then you get on to the later stages of the game. They get a little bit more difficult with jump puzzles and things and disappearing blocks. Like right here, you kind of have to vary your jump height and distance between these blocks. These blocks are ice. You see, you keep sliding, and right, we got an energy tank. I'm gonna switch back to my regular weapon because I can't really damage these guys with metal blades. Oh, come on, see any respawns, that's such crap. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this one. Let me go in here and take on Flash Man. But one thing I found out from playing this game, and just trying all kinds of different things, I actually found out some ways that you could damage Robot Masters using unconventional weapons and things. And I actually got something, I can't remember which episode it was, or which issue, but I believe I actually sent in a tip to Nintendo Power. Of course, this is back in the day when they had the classified section. And, gamers, if you would write in and tell them the secrets you'd found on your own. Because there were a lot of glitches and bugs and things you could find in these games. And I found out that you can actually use crash bombs on Woodman, and they will go right through his leaf shield. And so you could just sit there and just kill him before he even uses his leaf shield. It's pretty awesome. I'll try to show that to you guys in this playthrough, so we'll hold off on Woodman until we go to Crash Man. And then Crash Man, of course, if you get the Air Blaster from Airman, you can kill Crash Man in like 2 hits. And then I think when you get to Dr. Wily's castle, there's a cool part where you have to fight all the robot masters again. And if, like, with Metal Man, you can kill him with one metal blade. It's pretty hilarious. You just, you know, like, you literally, as soon as he drops in, you throw a metal blade and he's dead. It's pretty funny. Alright, so let's see. Let us take on... So we're going to save Woodman for after Crash Man. So let's do Bubble Man. Bubble Man was always an interesting bad guy. This is another stage where metal blades really come in handy. You see there now we've got Flash. Flashman had a cool power. It lets you like pause time. That was pretty awesome. And you've got these guys that spit little frogs at you. And again, these can really screw you up on a jump, so you gotta kind of be careful here. Again, no. Oh, see? The game, I got that power up and the game paused itself, like delayed itself, and then I fell off the cliff. Oh, this game sometimes. These Nintendo games were frustrating. They had like these own little frustrations built into them. Like if you just barely get tapped by anything, it like just throws you off. I remember Ninja Gaiden was like that. There's all kinds of games that you just barely screw something up and you die. See, we don't want to do that again. See, it kind of pauses you for a second when you... I think there's a guy. This part's really hard here. See, if you hesitate too long, you will fall to your death. But this doesn't seem too bad now, but like back in the day when you were a kid, like the platforming and all that, it was really a little bit more, you know, the reaction time and all that was a little bit harder to come by when you were a little bit younger. But this and Metroid were two of my big games I played a lot, and of course then once Super Metroid came out on Super Nintendo, that was one of my favorite games of all time. And I've really got to try to find one of those retro console things. Maybe when I get moved down south and get a job again, I'll try to pick one of those up, because I'd love to actually go through and do a playthrough of Super Metroid. That would be freaking awesome. Now, this part was a little bit more difficult. You have to watch out for those spikes up top, because those will instantly kill you. And you got these giant shrimp. Robotic shrimp. Every time we used to go to a seafood restaurant when I was little, I'd think of these guys. Robotic shrimp. See this guy, you gotta shoot. And it was interesting because in science class at the time, we were actually learning about, you know, aquatics and fish and things. And this guy reminded me of the anglerfish because they've got those little barbs on the top of their heads. And you gotta watch out here too, because when you the water makes you jump higher than what you're normally used to. So if you hit it too hard, you will go right into the ceiling and hit the spikes. And this is again another spot where metal blades can kind of save your butt. These jumps can be really a little treacherous. I think it was Mega Man 3 where they added in the, there's like a little hack you could do where if you had a second controller and you held like left down on it, you could actually do like super jumps, like from anywhere. Watch too, because if you run too fast off that side, you'll go face first right into that spike. And then of course you got this. Boop. See, these just bounce off him, but you can hit him in the... Down he goes. Alright, you gotta watch out up here too, because if you tap it too hard, you'll go right to the top there and die again. But I always thought the enemies in this game are so interesting. You know, you got robotic frogs, you got robotic fish. And they get more interesting as you go through the game. And some of the backstory too is kind of cool, because a lot of these robot guys actually started off as good guys and then were corrupted by Dr. Wily. And you got these crabs. These guys are really a pain in the ass too. You gotta watch, because they'll come down and like kill you right as you make a jump. Alright, we got the Bubble Man. And of course he's got this weird like fishnet hanging on the back of his stage. And you gotta watch here too, because he's got spikes on top of his little boss room here, but this guy goes down really fast to metal blades. He's just like, I mean, look at that. It's like I said, metal blades are just so ridiculous. And he gets the weapon called the Bubble Lead or Bubble Lead. I'm not sure what it is. You actually just shoot little bubbles and they run around on the floor. There's really only 2 times in this game I remember ever using this weapon. And of course, that one is against Heat Man, because that's his weakness, and the other is against the final boss, which hopefully you guys will see later. Alright, so back to stage select. We'll do one more, and then we'll stop for episode 1, and we'll come back on episode 2. Alright, Quick Man, he's actually like... I have the most trouble with this guy, so I'm going to save him for last. I usually do him last. So we got Heat Man, Wood Man, Crash Man. Let's do Air Man to round out episode 1. Airman, the giant ceiling fan in his stomach. Now that's funny because you actually, they said I guess the weapon you're supposed to use against him is the Leaf Shield, which you get from Woodman, but I've actually never had any luck with that because he just blows it away. I mean, he just kind of just uses his power. Now these guys, little spikes will come up. You got to get the timing on these guys too, because what'll happen is as soon as you go to jump, those little spikes will come up and hit you, and you will fall right into the abyss, and you will die. And you can try to get greedy here and jump off them twice as soon as they go down, as long as your timing is good. But you also got to watch these little guys. They'll come up and hit you. As soon as you step on these things, it starts deploying these little dudes out of the side. We just kind of. But again, Metal Blades conquer all because you've got the directional. These are really pretty solid. I'm trying to think of another weapon in Mega Man that was as useful as the Metal Blades. Maybe the Shadow Blades in Mega Man 3. I don't know. It doesn't seem like there were too many. The magnet shot in Mega Man 3 is pretty good. And then you got these guys. This was always tough when I first started playing this game. So you can't move too much off this cloud, but you got to kill these guys and jump on the cloud. There's one part where the dude will come out. I think it's right up here. He'll come out of the. You got to kind of jump and hope you get on that one, but you can actually get, as you can see, you can fall off, get stuck on the other cloud. But and just some neat. Of course, when this came out back in the 80s, you know, it was all brand new stuff that most of us kids hadn't seen. We were fascinated with this. You got these birds. If that egg hits the ground and explodes, it basically drops those little birds. Oh, there you go. You guys can see right there. And these guys too, if you want to time it right, you can actually farm those guys to get items and things. I never knew what those are apparently metal bars these things shoot, but I always called these like spaghetti noodles. You got this part here, which these guys will appear out of the midair again. This can be kind of tough. This can be kind of tough because now you don't have a platform between these guys, so you have to kind of time it right to get the jump. Of course, these guys block all your metal blades too, so now we got to time this so we can actually jump. And I think we get another. Oh, now we get the fake airmans. And these guys can actually cause you some trouble because they can make these jumps a little bit tough. And here you can't see the bird coming, and then he'll drop an egg right on your head while you're trying to get through here. I've died many times at this part. Ah, crap. Okay. And here again, you got to watch because if you get backed up too much, these guys will reappear on the screen. Yeah, if you jump there, you don't want to get hit by the bird. Oh, crap! I knew it. Ah, almost bought it there. All right, so that's Airman stage. Pretty quick. This is moving along pretty quick because it's just like riding a bike. You know, it's kind of funny. You just remember. I wonder if Bubble works on Airman. I don't think it does, but we'll try just for the heck of it. See, Airman just drops. He'll shoot some tornadoes at you, and you can't actually move. You see it? Okay, I can't even get the Bubble lead to get to this guy. You can see these weapons are absolutely used. Okay, Bubble Lead does not work on Airman, so let's go to. You can see you can kill him pretty fast with the normal weapon. Yeah, your normal weapon works pretty. I think Leaf Shield kills him in 2 hits, but your normal weapon there takes him down pretty quick. And then his weapon's pretty cool. It shoots out little tornadoes in an arc that goes up across the screen, so you can use it against airborne enemies. But anyways, that's going to be the first part of our Mega Man 2 playthrough. We're playing the Mega Man Legacy Collection. This is available on PlayStation 4, and I believe Xbox One. Capcom put this out recently. Probably one of the better remakes, obviously, because this, you know, anytime they can bring back some of the old Nintendo or Sega Genesis games is absolutely amazing. I really wish somebody would just do a side-scrolling HD remake of Super Metroid, but that's on my dream wish list of all the remake weapons. So, all right, we got item number 2 as well. So we're gonna go ahead and get our password, and next time we come back, we will take on the other 4 robot masters and unlock Dr. Wily's castle. All right, guys, I hope you this little playthrough here of Mega Man Legacy Collection. Again, we're playing Mega Man 2. I plan on playing through all the Mega Man games that are on here because this is a great collection. You got Mega Man, the original Mega Man, all the way through Mega Man 6. I don't believe 5 and 6 were released in the United States at first. I could be mistaken, or I just got too old, because the last Mega Man I remember playing in the U.S. was Mega Man 4. And actually later on when I was in college, I had a buddy on my dorm room floor who actually had an emulator that had Mega Man 6, 7, 8, and 9, I believe. So lots of Mega Man games, but I only played the first 4 as a kid. 5 and 6 I've never actually played, so that's going to be like blind going into it the first time, not having any idea what does what on any of the Robot Master guys. So that'll be trial and error. But anyways, guys, like I said, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you for watching. Again, thanks to Texan Joe for sending me the PSN code to pick up this game. Really appreciate that. Again, donations and stuff like that, never necessary, guys. Never even think about anything like that, but I really appreciate it. Awesome gesture by Texan Joe. Be sure to go check out his channel. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you again next time.